I just spent the last 2 weeks reading a 700-page book by Thomas Sowell, a Stanford economist. It's called Basic Economics. The economics seems confusing and complicated, but it's not. Most of people never learn how to actually work, so they keep getting fooled. By the end of the video, you will understand why taxing the rich hurts the poor people the most, why making rents cheaper creating housing shortages, how making food cheaper makes them disappear. I know that it sounds backwards, but once you see the proof, you can't unsee it. So, let us start. The year is 2080. The state of Maryland has a problem. They need money. So someone comes up with idea, let's tax rich people more. Maryland has about 8,000 million rich. Make the math and say, if we raise the taxes, we collect $106 million more every year. Done, problem solved, everyone celebrates. Here's what actually happened. Year 1, they collected the tax. Everything is going to plan. You too. Somebody counts the millions again. There were only 6,000 left. 2,000 millions had just vanished. They moved somewhere else. Instead of gaining us 106 million, Maryland actually lost 257 million in total tax revenue. Oregon tried the same thing, raised taxes on the higher earners and lost billions over time. And here's the lesson. And I really want to get this. People respond to rewards, not intention. Maryland intended to raise money, but what they actually did was really millions for a living. So the millions left, and they took their businesses, their companies with them. The job disappeared. Now, you can wish that people just sit there and accept higher taxes, but intention don't matter. Reward do. What this means for you, in your business, your relationships, your life, don't ask what you want people to do. Ask what you're rewarding them to do. Number 2, every choice has a cost. Let's say you have $10. You want a Starbucks, a burger, or a movie ticket. Can you have all three? No, $10 is $10. You get a Starbucks, you can skip a burger. You get a burger, forget the movie. Every single choice means giving up something else. That's a trade-off. Economics is not about what you have, it's about what you do with what you have. And this isn't just with small things, this is how the world works. For example, Venezuela has massive oil reserve. They should be rich. They're broke. Switzerland has nothing in the ground. They should be poor. But they are the richest country on earth. The same rule applies to you. Every dollar you spend, every hour you work, every person you hire, it can only be used once. The real question is not, can I afford this? It's, what am I giving up to get this? For example, you buy a BMW for $50,000. Beautiful car. Letter C's, you feel like you made it. But here's what you didn't see. If you bought a Toyota Corolla for $20 instead and invested extra $30,000 in 10 years, it's almost worth $60,000. In 30 years, you are looking at almost $250,000. That BMW didn't cost you $50,000, it cost you as poor as millions. That's a trade-off. Every time you spend money, you're not just spending money. You're spending what that money poor have become. Same with your time, same with your energy, same with your attention. Once you start seeing trade-off, you can't unsee them. And that's either the most terrifying you'll ever learn or the most powerful. Number 3, prices are messages. There's the famous story. Soviet leaders go to visit Brighton and ask marketing teacher, "How do you make sure people get food?" She replies, "I don't, Bryce do." Think about that. London has not grown enough food to feed itself for over a century. Millions of people, 3 meals a day. There is no ministers of sandwiches, no government offices decide where to break up. And every morning, fresh fish arrives on our way. Beef from Argentina, coffee from Brazil. Nobody is coordinating this. Prices are. Let me show you why no human could ever do prices do. Imagine you are charged all the pizza on the country. Not one pizza shop. All of it. Your job is to make sure everyone wants pizza gets it. You would need to know how many people want pizza today versus tomorrow. Which city needs more? What toppings? How much cheese to make? Which means deciding how much milk goes to the cheese versus ice cream. How many tomatoes grow? How many ovens to build? And all of this changes every single day. You cannot know all of this. No human can. No computer can. Too many variables changing too fast. But this problem is set for every single day. Remote little towns pizza. Big city gets pizza. Nobody is in charge. Nobody is planning it. Prices do it. When pizza is scarce, prices go up. Suppliers rush to make more. When there is too much, prices to drop. Suppliers slow down. Nobody sends the magic on purpose. They just happen based on how many people want something and how much of it exists. The price is the enemy. The price is the only one telling you the truth. So the next time you see prices that make you angry, just for a second. Ask yourself, what is the price trying to tell me? Is something scarce? Are too many people chasing too little supply? The price isn't a problem. It's the only honest signal you got. Number 4, price control never work. University has thousands of abandoned apartments just sitting there, empty. Meanwhile, homeless people simply on the streets outside the buildings. There are 4 times as many abandoned apartments as homeless people in New York. Let me show you how this happens. Imagine your schools make an announcement. Tomorrow, free pizzas at lunch, unlimited text as much as you want. At first, you just get your normally by lunch show up. Small eyes, no more. But word spreads fast. Everyone shows up. Kids who usually bring lunch from home, kids from other grades, everybody. And everybody wrapping extra slices. Just in case, 20 minutes later, the pizza is gone. The early kid ordered everything. The one who came late got nothing. This is happening every single time you mess with prices. Now go back to New York. Rent was getting expensive. People were struggling. So politicians step in. Then they make a rule. Landlords can't charge more than a certain amount. Rent control. Problem solved, right? Wrong. At the lower price, suddenly everyone wants own place. The college students who's going to stay with their parents now gets an apartment. The wisdom who thinking about moving with their family keeps a refrigerator to yourself. Remember the free pizza example? The same thing happened here. Everyone grab extras and the people who actually need it get nothing. But wait, it gets even worse. If landlords can raise rent, they stop fixing things. They stop repairing roof. Buildings start to rot. Eventually, some landlords just walk away entirely. And that is how you get thousands of the empty apartments in the city full of the homeless people. Price control made them worthless to operate. Sam partnered with Thu. Zimbabwe eventually kept prices low during the crisis. Stores entirely within hours. Farmers just stopped bringing food to market because selling at a controlled price meant losing money, so they didn't sell. People starved, Warcraft brought its own forms. This is what happens you set prices too low. Now let me show you happens you set the prices too high. India, early 2000s, the government want to help farmers, so they guarantee the high price for wheat. No matter what happens, farmers will get paid well. Sound great, right? Wrong again. If the government guarantee a high price, farmers grow more wheat to make a profit. So that is the way they did. They produced more wheat and than anyone could need. And the government had to buy it all. 11 million tons of wheat piled up on our warehouse. And then it's brought, while people other parts of the country were starving. So here's the point. Set the price too low, shortage, people can't get it. Set the price too high, surplus, product loss, poor people starve. Either ways, you mess up with the prices, you break the system. And here's the cruel part. Price control are supposed to help the poor, but when your things disappear, rich people find workaround. They bribe someone, they know someone. Poor people suffer the most. The solution becomes the problem. What this means for you when a politician promises to make something affordable by controlling the price? Ask one simple question. What happens to the supply? Number 5. Profits and losses or directions. Picture a school's lunch table. You notice the kids go crazy for free snacks. So you can start bringing extra bags and trading for stuff you want. It's worth making profit. But profit tells you something. Keep going. Bring more fruit snacks, people want them. Now imagine you try something racist. Nobody wants them. You cannot give them away. That is a loss. You waste your allowance on something nobody wanted. That loss also tells us something. Stop. Try something else. Profit says, yes, do more of this. Losses says, no, stop doing this. Simple, but here's what most people miss. Losses are just as valuable as profit, maybe more. When a company keeps losing and shuts down, it sounds sad, but it's good for everyone else. That company was using engineers, steel, electricity, trucks, all to make something people didn't want. When it dies, those engineers go worse or very useful. That still gets made into something people actually need. But here is where governments break and the system. Now you can put off that something that actually works. Number 6, your weight is a prices too. Why do something just pay more than another? Construction workers waste the stuff in the sun, they're making them. Nurses keep people alive. There's not millionaires. So what's the real answer? You get paid based on how much value you create. That's it. Let me show you. You have a lemonade stand. You hire your friend Maria to help. How much can you pay her? Well, it depends on how much extra lemonade she help you sell. Maria's fast, she's friendly. And with her dinner, you sell 10 more cups at $1 each. That's $10 extra value in your pocket. You can pay her to $10 and still break it even. Now, imagine you hire her other friend, Jake. Jake's slow. Here's on the phone, spill the lemonade. With him there, we only sell 2 extra cups. $2. Pay him more than that, you're losing money every hour he's standing there. This means it's math. Now, here's the way people get fooled. Someone says, workers deserve a living wage, raise the minimum to $15. Sounds nice, but what if a worker only creates $10 of value per hour? You are now forced to pay $50 for $10 worth of work. You lose $5 every single hour. No business survives that. So what does the business owner do? He doesn't hire that person. He buys a self-checkout machine instead. He cuts hours. He closes the shop. So here's what lesson means. Your boss is paying for your time. Is paying for your results. more valuable resource, more money, more, create more value, learn more skill. Nobody else wants to learn. Number 7, trade makes everyone richer. You got a sandwich, your friend has pizza. You each kind of one to the other person has. So you trade halves. Did the total amount of food change? No. But you are both happier? Yes. That's trade. It creates value without creating more stuff. Nobody lost, no didn't beat your friends, you didn't beat you. Both of you won. Now here's where adults completely mess this up. Politicians talk about trade between countries like it's a war. We're losing China. They're stealing our jobs. We need to win. But trade isn't a game with winners and losers. If we were, why would both sides keep doing it? Year after year, century after century. One country buys stuff from another because it's cheaper than making it themselves. The other country sells because they get paid well. Both countries then make more stuff and they try to make everything on their own. Both win. Now, here's the person of those people in mind. Even if one country is better than making everything, trade still helps both countries. Think about this way. Imagine your lawyers are charging $300 an hour. You're also pretty good at cleaning. Should you clean your own office? No. Hire a cleaner for $20 an hour. You're actually legal worse that. You make 300, pays 20, and you're ways ahead. Countries work exactly the same way. One country makes both cars and shirts and better than another country. And if the advantage in cars is huge and their advantage is just small, then it makes sense to focus on cars and trade for shirts. Both countries ends up with more car and more shirts than if you each try to make everything alone. That's why economists across every political field have supported free trade for 200 years. Trade isn't war, it's cooperation. Both sides win. Now, what this means for you? Think about last week. How many hours you spent on stuff you're bad at and hate doing? Emails, spreadsheets, admin work. Imagine you paid someone $50 to do all that, and you spend the hours on the things only you can do. That's the trade. This whole video comes down to one thing: trade-offs. Every hour spent on your weakness is an hour stolen from your strength. You don't win by fixing that's broken. You win by doubling down on what's working. That's economics. That's life. I want to add it by saying this. Understand that the economics won't make you rich, but it will make you impossible to fall. You just traded last 20 minutes of your life and watched this video. I hope you loved it. If you want more books or like this one, check out the playlist on your screen. Thanks for watching.